Hello and welcome to the Jank Tank, a weekly series where I build questionable decks and throw them against the constructed ladder. This week we're looking at an Abzan deck that's pretty much just your standard mid-range, but I'm playing it with Vraska because I'm a big fan of the planeswalker. Really enjoyed the 5-drop when she came out, and this new 4-cost version's a little hard to work with, but it's pretty solid if you can stick her. So let's look at, it's going to be a lot of just value creatures and a little bit of combo. So Vraska's +2 is that you can sacrifice another permanent to gain a life and draw a card. It's really not great. It does the opposite of what most planeswalkers want to do, which is advance your board. Instead you're sacrificing your board to get card advantage. But it's workable. It puts her up to +6 loyalty, which is hard for people to take down on your first turn. So even if you're a bit behind on the board, if you can +2 and sack a not significant permanent, or even don't sack a permanent at all, they're going to have a little bit of trouble taking her down before you can play something else that hopefully stabilizes your position, and then you can start just getting value off of her ability. On the other hand, she's also pretty solid just as a 4-mana -3 destroy a permanent. Mana cost 3 or less, so it doesn't hit a lot of things that you do want to hit, but it also does help stabilize early on. If you do that, they'll usually just kill her, and it's whatever. Unless it's their only permanent in play, which is usually not the case, she'll probably just die. But you're running 4 of her, so you can just recast her, or recur her later. So obviously with the +2, we're going to want some sacrifice targets for this deck. Things that you don't mind losing, things that have initial value but kind of fall off later. And I've really got 2 options for it. If I don't have one of these 2 things, then I probably won't be sacking anything unless I just have way too many lands, and that's usually not the case. But the first one is Treacherous Blessing. This is 3 mana in black to draw 3 cards, but you lose a life every time you cast a spell afterwards. 3 mana for 3 cards is pretty crazy value. It is excellent at digging into your mid-game. I don't love casting it on turn 3, but if you really need a land, it'll usually get you a land. And it is basically the perfect permanent to sacrifice to Vraska. Either playing it the turn before you play Vraska, and then you drop Vraska, lose a life, and then sack Treacherous Blessing, you're good. Or the turn after you play Vraska, you can drop Treacherous Blessing to restock your hand, and then immediately sacrifice it with her +1. It's excellent value. I've had to discard cards from my hand before because my hand's too full. So it's there to help make sure that we're always fueled and playing things. The other target for sack outlet, though, is Savvy Hunter. Every time it attacks or blocks, you make a food token. I'm not too interested in sacking the food tokens for life, so I'm happy to toss them into Vraska for a card. It's a better conversion ratio than Savvy Hunter's 2 foods for a card, so it's a pretty easy choice. If you go turn 3 Savvy Hunter, turn 4 Vraska, you can attack with the Savvy Hunter, get rid of the food token. Depends on the board, obviously, but Savvy Hunter provides a lot of fodder for things to sacrifice. I'm also running Arasta of the Endless Web. This will create a 1/2 green spider token with reach if they cast a spell, an instant or sorcery rather. Those are fine to sacrifice as well. I usually want to keep them around because just having stuff with reach is nice. In a lot of decks or games where I want to play Arasta, I would like the flying blockers. It's nice security if you play Arasta that even if they remove her, you'll have a flying chump blocker. So it's not always my game plan to sack a spider, but I will if it's what's appropriate. The rest of this deck is basically green-black value. We've got Polukranos. I underestimated Polukranos when I first started playing with him. I thought, oh, that's pretty big, but it's not going to be that great, is it? Polukranos is excellent. If your deck stretches into like the 8 to 9 lands sort of game, Polukranos will really carry you home. He is 4 mana for a 6/6, which is a nice beefy body on the ground. He gets smaller every time he takes damage, but even though he's kind of temporary, he is going to provide the value at the end of the game. You play him to stall the mid-game, and then get to the point where you can cast him with his escape value. Once you drop a 12/12, they'll either have removal or generally just concede. If they don't immediately pick it off, then it's entirely within your ability to clear the board of their blockers and then go punch them with whatever you have left. Polukranos is a lot of just spot removal. He can handle a lot of problems, as well as punch them in the face, so it's a versatile threat. And his escape is not too hard to deal with. 6 cards is quite a bit, but our deck, the way we constructed it, is going to find those 6 cards pretty easily. The bigger hurdle I have for him is casting him and immediately fighting. You don't want him to play to the board, tap out for it, and then they just kill it with a removal spell. You'd like to get a fight in first. So waiting until you have 7 lands is nice, because then you can play it for 4, immediately activate his ability, and eat something, even if they have removal for it. And then if you want to do it when you escape, that's 9 mana. It can be a little rough to get up that high. I've done it quite a bit, because this deck does go for the long game, but doesn't always happen. You're usually stretching for that last land or 2. But yeah, he's excellent at stalling the board out into the end game where you want to be, and then finishing off your opponent. He's just kind of hard to deal with. And I particularly like him because I think he's excellent at dealing with Dreamtrawler. Dreamtrawler is a card, and it's very, very, very good. Polukranos, if he is on the board, will prevent them from playing Dreamtrawler because he can eat the Dreamtrawler. They will discard a card to give it hexproof, but you can activate the ability again. And even if they don't, or even if you don't have the mana to do it again, if you wait until their turn, the Dreamtrawler will be tapped and they will not be gaining life or attacking with it to draw more cards. It's a problem. Control decks obviously are going to be running answers to it, but it's another hurdle in their way. So it's useful, and it recurs itself unless it gets exiled by something like Elspeth Conquers Death. So I think Polukranos does a lot of what this deck wants. I've only got 2, I believe, but you might be justified running 4. I kind of just split it between a diverse set of threats. I have a Rasta for flying blockers and anti-spell decks, and Polukranos, and then I tossed in a Doom Whisperer at 5 just because I had one. This is the sort of deck, it just likes beefy threats that can put stuff into your discard pile. It's kind of a must-answer card. If they don't kill it immediately, you'll be able to either block their big attacker or go in and try and kill them. And the Surveil, too, is quite solid. So he's not a necessary part of the deck, not really particularly synergistic, just I had one. This is the sort of deck where you play a lot of good, like, 4 and 5 drops that will threaten your opponent and give you some card value. Also in the 4-drop range, Acolyte of Affliction. Your mileage may vary on this one. It's a pretty mediocre card. 4 mana to mill 2, and then you get something from your discard back to your hand. I found it to be pretty fair. You can get lands if you need. This deck runs a pretty tough mana base, and it has 4 Evolving Wilds and Fabled Passages. So Acolyte of Affliction will get you one of those lands back if you want, presuming you already hit your 4 lands. It can also grab Mire Triton to help stabilize and block a threat that's killing you, or get back Polukranos for cheap, or Vraska. Kind of whatever you need. It's a toolbox that gets you whatever you're looking for at the moment. I found it to be pretty effective, and I don't mind sacking it to Vraska afterwards. You know, you get your card that you're looking for, and then you can +2 Vraska to replace them if a 2/3 is not a relevant body in your matchup. So he does all right. I certainly wouldn't object if someone were to say, replace him with 2 Polukranos. He's not going to kill your opponent, so it depends. We'll see how he does today. I like the card selection, so he's fine with me. As long as you're getting to the 4 lands, he's going to do something useful. And then finally at the top, I've got Elspeth Conquers Death. This is removal for 3 or greater, so it's kind of the opposite of Vraska, who can remove problems that are 3 mana or less. This will hit 3 mana plus, and just kind of gives you some endgame value. You can remove a problem, and then on its 3rd step, it'll return a creature planeswalker. I usually get a Vraska or Polukranos, but it depends on what you need. It's quite good. I am not certain that this is the right card for the deck, though. I think Shatter the Sky would be a better choice, simply because it's another thing that will kill Dreamtrawler. If they don't counter it, then you can just tap 4, Shatter the Sky. The biggest problem I have with this is the double white mana. This deck is not particularly white, so hitting this is difficult. Unfortunately, Shatter the Sky is also double white. It's going to be a problem. I have tweaked the mana base a little bit to add a few more white sources in. I'm hoping that'll play out well today. But we'll see. Usually between Paradise Druid and Acolyte of Affliction, I can get that white if I need it. And if I don't really worry about it. On the early end, I guess I'm also running Mire Triton. Pretty much goes in every black deck I have. I think it's just too good early game. Paradise Druid, I think I could say the same for any green deck. The fact that it has hexproof is invaluable. If you need a blocker, it will be a blocker. It can trade with aggressive red decks if you need. And it fixes mana problems for this deck, which it kind of desperately needs. This mana base is all over the place, so Paradise Druid will really help you play out whatever you're going to do on turn 3 and 4. But just going turn 2 Paradise Druid into turn 4 Arasta or Pelucranos or Vraska. I'm not a big fan of Vraska. She's kind of exposed at that point, and I don't really have anything to sack to her if I'm going turn 3 Vraska. But it is what it is. You can just +2, get the loyalty on her rolling, and hope they don't have anything to swing back to kill her. It's viable. I mean, turn 3 Planeswalker is pretty strong, so... So the 2-drops are very, very solid. We've got Murderous Rider, of course. Just good value. It's going to kill your problems and then help you gain life and maybe even beat your opponent a bit. The body's not too important, so I don't feel bad sacking it to Vraska, depending on how the game's playing out. So it's alright. Unfortunately, I'm not going to spend much, or do many times where I can recur it with Acolyte of Affliction, since once it dies, it goes to the bottom of your deck. But if you do mill it through Mire Triton or Acolyte of Affliction, or even like Doom Whisperer sometimes, if you mill it, then you can pull it back as a kill spell from Acolyte of Affliction. Even though he only gets permanents, he can get Murderous Rider, so I've done that a couple times. It's good value. Savvy Hunter, we already talked about, just good card. Gives you sack targets and can help you gain life if you need to. Knight of Autumn is the only reason I put white in this deck. I initially built it thinking this was a green-black card, but once I found out it was green-white, I was like, well, it's too good not to put in. I think this is an incredible card. Destroying target artifact or enchantment can do a lot of useful things for you, but even if it's a matchup where it's not going to do anything useful for you, it is a big body or gaining life, depending on what you need. It's very, very flexible, and as long as you have the white to play, it's really solid. I never really am upset seeing Knight of Autumn. At worst, it's going to buy me another turn to draw into something I do want. And if you're using it for the destroy target artifact or enchantment, don't mind sacking it to Vraska. A 2/1's not that important. So, usually I'm aiming to hit Witches, Ovens, and Cavalcades with Knight of Autumn, but if my opponent's running anything enchantment-wise, it's usually pretty important to the game plan, so I'm happy to throw it down and destroy it. And leaving a chump blocker afterwards is just nice. And again, this is basically a spell effect on a permanent, so Acolyte of Affliction is always able to pull it back if you ever need to get another naturalize effect out. Overall, this deck's got a lot of options. It's pretty flexible. So I think it's capable of handling a wide range of scenarios. It's just, if your mana base works out and you're not overrun. This deck is pretty weak, I've found, to very aggressive starts again. Even though it's got some early game, Mire Triton usually just gets shocked and then they just overrun you. Murderous Rider is not the best for removing a 1-drop or 2-drop that's killing you because you lose the 2 life anyways. Savvy Hunter can be alright. I upped the count to 4, so hopefully that'll be good value for us. But in general, like, Treacherous Blessing's too slow to play against an aggressive deck. Vraska is not great. If you -3 her, she's just going to die, and 4 mana to destroy one of their creatures isn't good. +2 to sacrifice your board position's not good. So, it's got some problems. I like Arasta in it, because that makes it very hard for them to burn through your blockers. Every time they try and shock a defender, you can just get a chump blocker. If they try and burn your face, you get more blockers, hopefully. You're not at the point where you're already dead, so we'll see how it goes. Probably recommend at the end of this swapping out Elspeth Conquers Death for Shatter the Sky, but Elspeth is also very solid. Like, killing their thing and getting your planeswalker back, it's just good value. So, we'll see how it goes. This week we will just be doing a single episode, so this won't go into the 2-hour range like our last episode did. I did predict last time, though, that next time you'd see us, we were back in Silver, and that is true. The ladder reset today, so back into Silver tier. That's fine. These decks aren't particularly great. Alright, I'm not a big fan of this hand, but I have enough to play Paradise Druid. And that'll get me into Treacherous Blessing territory if I need to. If I draw another land, I can turn 3 at Rasta, so that's solid. Yeah, assuming Paradise Druid doesn't die, this should be okay. I don't know if we'll need this Elspeth Conqueror's Death for a while. I'd like to see a Vraska here, I think. Or a Savvy Hunter. But mostly lands. Not really ever going to complain about getting lands in this deck. Usually we've got more spells to play than we can afford. Alright, Knight. That's not a good sign, but we did get a land, so that's fine. So Paradise Druid could just block the Knight here. Now he's going to have 3 mana at that point. That's not good. Arrest is a good card. I think we're probably just gonna... Oh, that's not gonna do much, is it? Won't kill a Knight. Yeah, we're actually just gonna Murderous Rider this, I think. Wait for him to pump 1. Yeah, if he's offering the trade, I'll take it. I need to conserve. I don't know if that was right, but we're definitely going to Murderous Rider, so we'll see if he plays anything. If he pumps, then we'll get excellent tempo. If he has, like, suddenly white and a protection spell. Okay. Enters the battlefield under your control, we lose life. Which of these do I care about more? 2 life now. I mean, this is just a problem. We're going to be gaining a ton of life. We'll just kill it. This IR is going to be messy, but she is 3 mana, so if I get a few more lands... Yeah, next turn I could potentially just Elspeth Conqueror's Death. So we're getting... Forest. Yeah, I'm just going to run out something. If he wants to play a kill spell to kill a Rasta, I'll get value. If I draw any... Oh, I need a planes. Yeah, seems good. AR gets a swing. I'm torn between... I've got a couple lines to play here. Ayara's attacking. I could play another Arasta, which will get me not a whole lot of useful. I can play Treacherous Blessing, which will let me play Paradise Druid if I draw a land. Which is not a great plan. I don't think Treacherous Blessing is where I want to be right now. I really want to get rid of Ayara. This will help guarantee that, so... There's reason not to attack, I think. I don't think he's running hasty things. Deathless Horseman would be pretty hilarious. I would have regret. Murderous Rider. Yeah, I'm fine with that. I lose life. Vraska right now wouldn't be bad either. Plenty of things I would like to destroy at 3. Okay, that makes sense. Alright, so I've got 6 mana. I mean, yeah, we're... killing Ayara and then trying to trade one of the Murderous Riders. I'll go down to 4, I think. That's not good. Not when he can refill his hand and we're not putting any pressure on his health. Yep, seems good. Alright, yeah, definitely trying to clear the board as much as possible. I would like to see a Mire Triton right now. Vraska's good. If I'm not dead, Vraska can start drawing me cards and gaining health. Question is, do I +1 her? No. If he has a way to kill her, then I'll just recur it with Elspeth. I'm just gonna get rid of stuff. So we can start drawing or gaining life back, which will help keep us from dying. I'll get an Arasta, which makes life pretty uncomfortable for him. Got 2, 3, 4, 5 mana. I think I just Treacherous Blessing next turn if he doesn't play a 3 or more that I can remove with Elspeth Conqueror's Death. Obviously, if he plays something that... I wonder if he's just sitting on 2 Great Merchants. He's like, this is great. Familiar. Discard Arasta, I'm getting another one. Alright, so I didn't die to Grey Merchant, that's good. Unfortunately, could still die to Grey Merchant. We're gonna dig for lands here just because that'll help us catch back up. See, there's Night of Autumn. If I draw a land off of this, I can gain health. I would very much like to gain health. Nope, we're not there. Yeah, he doesn't have enough to pump, so might as well. I just want to get out of Grey Merchant range, and we're really not. You can pay 5 mana for a Grey Merchant, and then any other black permanent will kill me. Yeah, that castle is so good. Alright, we're not dead, which is extremely good news for us. Obviously, we're just going to gain life. I don't want to get killed. Our board state's pretty safe now. We've got a Vraska that's ticking up. I could just replay her, but I want the gain life and draw cards. I mean, there is a strong argument for -3. Yeah. I'm hoping to draw a land is really it. If I could guarantee I wasn't drawing a land, I'd -2 or -3 and kill his devotion. Well, I'll take it. I want to start pressuring his life. I will accept the chump block if he attacks me. But it looks like he values his life total more than this Fen Lurker. It's fair when you're Castle Locked winning. I'm very happy to see that go, though. That means that Grey Merchant is probably not on the menu. Oh, he wants another Fenlurker? Okay. I've got cards to exile from my hand, so that's fine. Yeah, sure. I don't know what to get rid of, though. I don't know if we need another Knight of Autumn, but I feel like that's going to get me pretty far. We're keeping Vraska, so we'll get rid of the other Vraska. I'm not throwing her away. Maybe just turns around and murders Riders, or we'll see. Oh, I didn't go over her ultimate, by the way. It's actually been relevant in some games. If I get up to 9, which is not too far for her, you get an emblem. Each creature you control deals combat damage to a player. That player loses the game, so their life totals become irrelevant. And this deck, as you can see, has enough cards to out-creature your opponent pretty easily. Until you run into a big board wipe, and then you're sad. Okay, so what else? He's got 4. He can pump once, so no point in attacking with Knight of Autumn. Unless I just -3 it. I mean, I don't see why not. Help kill my opponent faster. Give him less devotion for Grey Merchant. I think that's solid. I don't need to draw more cards at this point. I think this turn I'm going to Savvy Hunter, followed by Knight of Autumn gaining 4 more life, and that should seal things.
I've suffered worse.
I like the voice lines for Vraska. She's a tough person. And now he'll basically need a board wipe in black to kill all my stuff. Which is Vengeance Soul. I'll only get him not very far. Oh, nice. Gains life. He's got the mana from Timuret to exile 2 things. Nope, 4 creatures. But he drew a card instead. Okay, he's done. Alright, rank 2. We're crawling back there. Claim prize. Alright, let's try this again. So that game, I don't think he had great draws. He didn't have what he needed to finish me off after having a strong early game. If he had drawn into pretty much anything more, and he did draw a lot of cards, then he probably could have killed us with a good Grey Merchant before we stabilized. This deck's a little slow like that. I'm going to keep this hand. I may regret this in 2 turns. Where double Mire Triton, which is nice. But if we don't draw into a plains... Oh, okay. It's tough. I think we're going to go Paradise Druid. I'm not planning on blocking the Paradise Druid. I want to turn 3 Erasta. I think that's going to really help us. Maybe not if he's just got complete unblockables. Maybe we are toast. Alright, we didn't draw the land, so we're very sad. I probably only get 1 card with this before he burns her. I legitimately don't know if I should just... Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah. I was considering Knight of Autumn, but if I... Thanks. Thank you, Mire Triton. I needed those. Alright. If I just stall out with Mire Tritons, we'll see what he has, and... Yeah, seems good. Chandrak, Eye of Flame is a lot of 1/1s to attack. Well, if he's not going to offer me the Scorch Spitter, I'll kill one of his Dodgers. No reason to keep taking damage from Dodger, and I'm not going to get a lot of chances to block the 10th Street Dodger. Alright, we're looking good. We did it. I mean, kind of. He can just... I mean, he can't shock my Paradise Druid anymore. Not without giving me too much value. Oh. Well, if he doesn't, then I can just destroy the cavalcade. And I might be okay after the cavalcade is gone. Did he activate it? Oh, he did. Okay, that's too bad. Okay, so that's good. We're looking good now. Going to destroy cavalcade, and then Chandra is not going to be too bad. And if we don't die next turn, I can just play Knight of Autumn. Hopefully at some point we'll get a Vraska that can just take out the Chandra. Okay, I don't like where this is going. Alright, so he emptied his hands to kill my spider. Which is sad, but I got value out of it, and he didn't kill me with the Omen, so... we're not going to block there. As long as I have something to block, he's apparently not going to swing with his Scorch Spitter, so... Okay, I can get a land with Acolyte of Affliction, or I can gain life. I don't think he's likely to kill me this turn. His hand's empty, so he's really just getting, like, 2 points of damage in a turn. Not even, because now I can block both of his things. Now I'm actually debating just attacking him. Because I want to kill Chandra. I can follow it up with Mire Triton, or... I think we definitely need to Acolyte of Affliction. Alright. I have decided I don't want to deal with Acolytes. Basically his -2 here is really good.
Now things are getting heated.
I don't mind. I needed to kill that Dodger anyways, it was going to kill me. Alright, so I'm not quite at the point where I can cast Elspeth Conquers Death. I'm pretty sure I just want Fabled Passage. I have plenty to cast in my hand, I just need the mana to catch up. So we're going to get that, and I'm going to save it. I don't know if I need another black or white. Yeah, he's going to burn my blocker and get in for 2. Okay. Yeah, I'm really okay with that. I'll be less okay when he drops like a Fervent Knight, but... yeah. Now it's pretty easy to kill Chandra myself. And I've got plenty of life gain now, so... yeah, alright, we're looking good. I think I'm going to get a Swamp. I wonder if he's holding on to a burn spell to save Chandra. I think just in case, I would really like Chandra to die, so... just in case he had instant speed removal for one of my 2 creatures. Alright, now we're going to try and stabilize and hope he doesn't have some sort of wide board clear. I don't think these swarmy red decks run Storm's Vengeance. It's going to be pretty hard for him to crawl out of. Oh. Speaking of, he does. Alright, fair. I'm not a huge fan of Treacherous Blessing right now, but I'm also not a big fan of passing. I could just throw a Murderous Rider onto the board and gain life. Let's do that once. One more land and I can start Doom Whispering. So... if we don't get it this turn. Alright. Now we just need him not to be running Active Treason. It'd be a pretty hilarious Active Treason right now. Alright, we did it. A little sketchy. Again, if he had a little more steam, he could have gotten us pretty low. But this deck's got some good life gain in it. It's not a great hand. I get 4 mana? Oh. He doesn't have time for me to think about it. Okay, sorry. I think I would have kept that hand if I got to a 4th mana that I could have acolyted for the Fabled Passage back. And then I would have been able to have all my colors. A little bit slow to start with, though, so if you had an aggressive start, then I would not have fared well. Oh, it's Vraska. I wonder if he's playing a Vraska deck. This looks great. It looks okay. Definitely want to get a forest with this. Just gonna go ahead and run that out. Alright. Island. Half tempted to put the Knight of Autumn into play as a 4/3. If he is, I mean, I think he's just going to draw right now. He could be holding up Quench, which is fine. I will bait out a Quench. If he's playing some sort of control deck, I want to put on some early board pressure, force him to commit a lot of resources. And if this gets countered, I'm fine with that too. Alright, so now he can't just sit on counter spells. Okay. Brineborn Cutthroat. So now he is sitting on counter spells, and he probably can't afford to. If he has some sort of bounce or flash blocker, this will go poorly for me by attacking. But if I trade it off his Brineborn's an important card. If he ends up losing it, then that's a problem for him. Yeah, okay. So this looks like he's holding up Quench mana. Or maybe a flash spell. Which means I want to play something. Mire Triton's problematic for him because it will always kill his Brineborn. Just in the interest of using all my mana, if I draw away on next turn, I'll be able to play 2 cards, and hopefully he won't be able to counter both of them. He's probably going to Quench this. If he doesn't, I get another threat back to my hand. Or arguably, I should take a Fabled Passage. But oh, that's a good card too. If he gets countered, it's kind of garbage though. We're just gonna go with the Mire Triton. I like that it can trade with Brineborns. Yeah. See, he obviously wanted to block and kill my Mire Triton, but realized afterwards that that wasn't gonna fly. Alright, so one spell he's still just going to trade with Acolyte so I can attack. He might just put enough pressure on that I can't out-damage him. I did not get another land, but I do have 2 2-drops. I don't know which I'd rather him counter. I think I'd rather him kill the Paradise Druid. I've gotten my mana now. So, we'll see what he has. Big creatures is what he has. These Brineborns are going to get out of hand quite quickly. And if he's sitting on more unsummons, then my Mire Triton I play right here is probably just going to get unsummoned. Yeah. Yep. That's too bad, but it's fine. If I can push through one of these Vraska, then his Brineborn will die. No block. Well, he's obviously got more counter spells. So, I'm obviously going to be saving Mire Triton to block now. I've got 5 mana though. So, we're going to run out. Yeah, just big Knight of Autumn. Debatable whether I should gain life or make it big. I think big is the call though. He's got to cast 2 spells. Oh. I can double block. Double blocks invite an unsummon for value, but I think just big creatures is good. He didn't counter it, which means that my Mire Triton's probably toast. Oh, evidently I should have. And then counterspell. No counterspell. Alright, well that's nice. We are obviously not attacking. Alright, so he's probably low on counterspells now, so we'll start eating into them. If he's got one, he's got one. We'll just wait a turn. Okay. Fortunately, he doesn't have any sort of draw engine yet. These decks frequently run Spectral Sailor. That's what I don't want. Alright. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That takes both my greens. Yeah, there's not really a way to... Just getting another Paradise Druid. I'll let it resolve, and then I'll play a Knight of Autumn, I think. I'm not thrilled, but it does look like he might have another counter spell, and I'd like to be able to do multiple spells a turn. Yeah, that's excellent news. Sticking in Arasta early would have made this game very easy for me. Unfortunately, just didn't have the opportunity. Alright. Now we're going to hope that he does not have it. Well, let's waste one more. He could have drawn it. He's sitting on more cards. Fortunately, these Mire Tritons are doing so much work for me. Alright. We did a thing. Congrats, everyone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I can Treacherous Blessing into Vraska next turn. He'll have to counter one or the other. He might waste it on Treacherous Blessing, and if he doesn't, I draw a bunch of cards. Scry. We don't need land. Alright, is this correct? Yes. Yeah, he's thinking about it. Opt! Okay. Very happy with that. I don't think he's got another counterspell for his last. We'll find out. We did it, everyone. Alright, I'm going to start swinging. We need to get some damage in. I mean, I guess technically we don't. We could play a very slow game wherein Vraska just gives us death touch to players. Alright, yep. We forced through the thing that will kill his killers, so... It was a good match. Sort of deck this deck has an even match against. Gotta outvalue the opponent. Alright, I think we'll do 2 more. See if we can run into some control matchups where this deck won't fare as well. I was using it to try and get up from my low bronze ladder to gold before this filmed, but it ran into a lot of matchups where it just died. So we didn't get there. This hand is not very feasible. Maybe if I had a Paradise Druid. Going first, I don't like it though. I don't have the mana for Murderous Rider, we're gonna mulligan. Well, okay. Got some early game. I'm gonna get rid of one of the knights. I don't think I need to. And it'll be slow to get out anyways. Alright, we're gonna get a Swamp. Oh, that's a good sign. Mire Triton's good against aggressive red. Doom Whisperer in the bin. It's alright, we don't need him. Bone Crusher's a good card. Alright, I guess we're gonna get a white for Night of Autumn. And play our only 2-drop. So this is looking good. I've got the Savvy Hunter Vraska combo. Savvy Hunter provides food to sack when he's blocking. Helps me gain life and stabilize. Don't love seeing another Bone Crusher Giant, but what you gonna do? We're gonna get black. Good question whether or not I run out Savvy Hunter or Vraska. I think Vraska is good at killing threats, so we're gonna do her. We're obviously not sacking a permanent. I like my lands. Oh, okay. Fires of Invention. We're obviously going to kill this next turn. Immediately. Assuming, hopefully Vraska lives. He can cast whatever he wants. I wonder if we don't kill it. Not killing it seems bad. Ooh. Alright, so pretty obvious lines of play here. We're going to kill Ironcrag because Ironcrag's a beast. We're going to destroy his enchantment, and he can try and play a fair game after having sacrificed early board position. He could still just burn Vraska though and be looking pretty good. Yeah. Alright, we're going to... I think Murderous Rider it. Oh, forgot Bone Crusher has other good text on it too. We're going to all attack. I want to draw cards. Oh, I was hoping for a swamp. That's okay. Doubles if everything is good. Another fires. I don't know how I feel about that. So it would mean, if I go Treacherous Blessing, it would mean that I have the opportunity to draw another knight. I'll have a blocker, but, let's see what I draw. Alright, I did get a knight. So I think we're going to do that. Night of Autumn. I didn't sack Treacherous Blessing. I think I want to just destroy his Bone Crusher Giant instead. I'll go down to 2. Maybe he'll just burn Vraska. We'll see.
Pity we couldn't have been allies.
That might have been a mistake. I will be sad if Vraska's gone. The Raise Boar. What is this? Trample. When he attacks, you put your creature in. Sneak attacking. Returns to your hand rather than sacks. That's nice. Put it into your library. Oh, he's a god. Okay, I see. Well, we're going to get rid of Treacherous Blessing first. That's nice. Back up Vraska. I can get a Savvy and Murderous Rider, I think. This Raise Board is pretty solid, not gonna lie. I don't know what to do with it. I can exchange a lot of my creatures for it. Looks like its hand's pretty empty though. No creatures to put in. Alright, so I can just let him take it, or I can trade all my guys. I'm really torn. Got another Vraska, but recasting is not going to do anything. I need to kill Raise Boar. I'll have a food token to sack for value. Yeah. If he has a burn spell, this will be bad. Embercleave. This will be bad. I mean, if he's going to attach it, I don't know why he wouldn't just attack me. Yeah, maybe he was just baiting me. Seems good. I mean, that's almost just lethal against me. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Almost enough just to play out everything. Raise board is good. And I think I've just got to kill the Fervent Champion. Yeah. We're basically just gonna kill Fervent Champion. If he wants to kill Vraska, he's gonna sacrifice like 17 damage to me. So, that's fine. This would be one of those cases where I would love Elspeth Conquers Death, or another Knight of Autumn. Alright, he's going all in against Vraska. You know what? He can have that fight. Unfortunately, I'm not drawing anything particularly great. So, I think we've lost. Lost to a big creature and an Embercleave. Maybe should have... I don't know. Should have saved those Knights of Autumn. Alright, I am going to block with the Savvy right now, because I want the token. And then I'm going to draw, because I need answers right now. Oh, that's a good answer. Hasn't won the game, I'm still very much close to being dead. Okay, those two together might might get me somewhere. So we're going to... got a lot of things that I need to exile here. Embercleave needs to go. Raise Boar is still lethal. Do I just deal with Experimental Frenzy? Man, I think I just try and deal with Experimental Frenzy. So we're going to exile the Raise Boar. Oh, or exiled. Alright, I may have chosen poorly. Reading cards is hard. Embercleave cannot live. Alright, so he draws that card. He can play the top card and then get his Raise Boar back by playing the Raise Boar. So I guess he's getting Raise Boar back. Doesn't have haste. It's irritating, but... Oh, that's unfortunate. He gets +1/+1 counter. Four, 8, 9. Lucranos may save me. Not from an Experimental Frenzy, though. Acolyte of Affliction. So that can get me... Vraska's not going to do much. Knight of Autumn could destroy his Experimental Frenzy, which could buy me enough time to draw into something that will kill Raise Boar. Let's do it! Oh, I got a... Well... So next turn, I'm going to get a Knight that can destroy his Experimental Frenzy. Or... I mean, I can just get Doom Whisperer, I guess, with my free card. I think I just need the... I need the Knight. I'm going to take a big hit here, but I need him not to have infinite cards. I don't know how much direct burn he's got, but I think I'm just taking the 6 here, assuming he doesn't have an Embercleave, which he can slap on after I declare blocked. So if he has an Embercleave, we're just dead. I'm just going to let this through, though. I think my blockers for his other creatures are more valuable. Since it's got trample, it'd just be buying me 3 life. Which could be important 3 life, but we'll see. Oh, okay, so he could have just killed me. Cool. Alright, there we go, the loss. Had the card value, just couldn't deal with an Embercleave fast enough. I think maybe I wasted too many enchantment removals on his Fires of Innovation. I think maybe yeah, having seen his deck, I definitely should have just let him have that. His hand was too empty. As long as he couldn't cast off the top with the Experimental Frenzy, would have been okay. This is not a good hand. No. Didn't have enough green. This is also not my favorite hand, but... Ooh. 2 Pollucrinous is business. Choices. I think I'm going to ditch the Traitorous Blessing. No, I'm going to ditch Murderous Rider. I don't trust myself to have the mana to cast it. And I guess I've got the Paradise Druid. Well, I think we're going to get another loss here, guys. This is not going to work. Oh, maybe Pollucrinous will be good enough to stabilize. If he doesn't have a good 2-drop to follow up with. Oh, he didn't run away Steamkin, so that's a good sign. I should have Temple of Plenty first, though. Dug for another land. That was my mistake. Fabled Passage. Gross. I'll keep it. If he doesn't have a 2-drop, I worry about what's in his hand. Paradise Druid doesn't block very well against First Strike. Alright, what color land do we need? I've got black, green, and white. I'll probably need double... need Elspeth enchantment. That's what I need to exile all this nonsense. We're just gonna get Swamp. Yeah, there's just no way this ends well. I guess I can Pollucrinous to block Anax. I can Vraska Anax, but then he'll just have more attackers next turn. Knight's gaining 4 life is kind of useless. I think Pollucrinous trying to trade with Anax is my best option. He's so good. Great. Alright, so he's got double strike, which means we're just toast. No, that's okay, you got it. you don't need to continue. Those are 2 very quick games. Let's do one more and then we'll go back and look at the deck. Very slow lands, but I feel like the rest of the hand's okay, so... Chain Web. Alright, good against flyers. Not going to be killing me too quickly, so I'm kind of cool with that. Go swamp in case we draw a basic land. I wish Chain Web could kill Dream Trawler. That'd be cool. Alright, we didn't draw a basic land. Let us get a forest. I think unless he plays something immediately dangerous like a Savvy Hunter, we're just going to go with Paradise Druid rather than Mire Triton. If you go Savvy Hunter or something powerful turn 3 to attack me with, I'll play Mire Triton as a blocker. But yeah, I'm not very worried about 1 damage pings from Chain Web right now. Escapes for 5. Alright. The slow crawl towards having lands. Torn on what color land to get with Fabled Passage. I think double black's the reasonable option here. I mean, I obviously need it. Double white will be nice, and I don't have any sources of white right now, so plains is a good choice. I guess I don't need the double black, because I have Paradise Druid. White will be more prudent. Yeah, we're gonna get a plains. Yep, nope, not trading your Chain Web. You can have that damage. It's a Pelucranos. Alright, so we're obviously gonna Murderous Rider that, because Pelucranos is a house of a card. Oh, Vraska. It's not the time for Vraska. Alright, just gonna kill Pelucranos. He's too good. Our life total is a little low. So the long-term plan is when he escapes that Pelucranos, we're going to Ultimate Conqueror's Death it. So, gotta save that. Hopefully he doesn't have other threats that require exiling. Let's see what he plays, though. Probably Pelucranos number 2. Harpoon her. He's gonna choose up to 1 creature with flying you don't control. Okay, so this deck's really worried about flyers, for whatever reason. It is a 2-drop, so I could play Vraska. That seems terrible. She would just die to Chain Web. Treacherous Blessing is just too many cards to draw. Full hand size already. But I really would like to not be missing land drops. We're gonna go with it. Alright, this is terrible. Ditch 1 Vraska. And I think Knight of Autumn has potential. Oh man. But Savvy Hunter might have been a mistake, but I think Murderous Rider is going to be quite good for us in this game. The sad news is I'm very tempted to block this Crawl Harpooner. This is just too much life to lose. Gotta do it. Although, then I just lose from not being able to play Murderous Rider. Oh, we'll see. Maybe we'll just draw lands for the next 4 turns and be happy. That's not a land. Alright. That is going to be... Oh, okay. If you can't sacrifice your own Treacherous Blessing, use creatures to remove your own enchantments. It's a very sad state of affairs for this game. This is actually probably just being hasty. I definitely should have gained 4 life instead. The 4 life, if I draw a land next turn, Vraska would have automatically gotten rid of it. Now I don't have anything to sack to Vraska, which is going to make this all the much harder. But the bottom line is I wanted something that I wouldn't mind trading with the chain web, because now I am tired of taking a damage every turn, since I'm obviously stalling out. Yep. Hopefully I draw a land and I can just go Paradise Druid, Mire Triton. Oh, Doom Whisper is pretty good. I drew a land, so that's nice. I don't think I'm taking 6 damage a turn, though. We're just going to Murderous Rider it. I'm not down for that. Which is pretty good right now. So, I've got 5 mana, I can Mire Triton Paradise Druid like I wanted to. Mire Triton will block, cause him to... Yeah, we're gonna do that. Cause him to pay 4 life. You can only Underrealm Witch so many times. It's good value, but losing the life is a real cost for him. Normally I wouldn't block, but I don't want to go down that low. So we're able to Elspeth Conqueror's Death next turn. We can use that to resolve the Underrealm Witch. Since he's got his card draw ability, I want to... Jeez, he's just got a lot of threats. Create a bunch of insects. 6 insects. Seems good. Don't have anything that quite goes that wide. Murderous Rider will help in keeping my life total up, I guess. Oh, he didn't swing. I will take it. I will be very happy about that. Mire Triton, not good against the current threats we have. I do like the life gain. Don't think I want it. Alright, so... We've got 6 mana to work with. Unfortunately, I can't do both Murderous Riders. Underrealm Witch, I think, has to go. I don't know what I'll do to get rid of Polukranos. He's coming next, so... We're in trouble, but I can't let him keep filtering all of his card draw. It's very good. We ran into a green-black deck with more top end than us. I don't even know if we have anything good to get back with. Yeah, I can get a Vraska back. That's not going to do a whole lot for me. I'll draw me cards. Drawing cards good. But yeah, if he just escapes Polukranos right now, I'm not going to be able to do anything about it. Mire Triton doesn't block Polukranos. Polukranos prevents all the damage dealt to him. Alright, so we're taking 6. I'll just take it. It's not good, but I don't have good blocks, and he's got other threats that I'm better off chump blocking. Did I leave this on top? I didn't want that. The life gain will be useful though. Find Broker. Target permanent. He's getting... Okay, that's fair. You can't play it this turn. Murderous Rider will hurt if I try and exile it again, or destroy it again, but I think that's what's going to happen. I'm not a fan of how much card draw he has. Really need multiple Elspeth Conqueror's Death. Alright. So, destroy target permanent I control. Oh. Yeah. Yep. Yes, I will. I'll get a swamp. I will take that. That makes things a lot easier for me when he doesn't have removal on board. Lucranos is pretty scary, but he still doesn't have enough to escape it and fight, so... Now I can double Murderous Rider, which means he can't really profitably attack me. Which means I probably, since I'm not playing another... Nope. No attacks. If I were playing the other Mire Triton, yes, but... Nope. I guess that Assassin's Trophy makes sense. Alright, so he's only got 6 in his discard. If he goes for Pelucranos, I can just Murderous Rider it. I'm so toast. Crispy toast. Although, this helps. Actually, quite like that reckless attack. Alright, so I got Savvy Hunter. I mean... Yeah, I don't think he realized I was going to gain all that life off of the Murderous Riders. I mean, I feel like I need to start taking out Vraska to gain more health and get some card advantage. Puts pressure on him to actually kill me. Need to draw cards. I think I get rid of the Paradise Druid. I should have tapped it for mana first. That's my misplay. Alright, we're going to get another swamp. Savvy or Mire Triton. I think Savvy is better here. He doesn't have anything immediately that I want to Death Touch kill. So... I don't think I attack. Yeah. So you can probably get Nylea up and attack me if he wants. He's got 3, he just needs to put in 2 more green. He could escape that for sure if he wanted. Each player sacks a creature or planeswalker. By Murderous Rider. That's pretty good. It's a cool card. Better Fleshbag Marauder? That's gross. That Doom Whisperer is going to be a problem, though. Yep, there's that problem. Torn between trying to save to kill Pelucranos or not. I think it depends on what I draw next turn with Vraska. I hope he attacks. I would really like Savvy Hunter token. He did not. Well... 5, 8 lands. Really could still use another land. If I attack, he's just going to trade or block it with Savvy. If I kill Doom Whisperer, I want that Savvy Hunter token or token to block with. Forest. I'm gonna sack the forest.
It's lost.
I think both my guys are valuable right now. Well, yeah, he's not playing a lot of instants or sorceries. I'm just gonna kill the Doom Whisperer. And then I guess this is my best chance at blockers. Yeah. Mire Triton's great, but I think my out this game is to just try and ult Vraska. Even then he's got a lot of blockers. So now I think is where I just lose to Pelucranos. Oh, or the Assassin's Trophies. I've got more Vraska. Glad I played the Rasta though. Alright, we're gonna get more basic land. It's a real value grinder. Maybe I can get to my Pelucranos before he decides to go for his. I mean, there's no reason that he should fall behind. He's got as much card draw as he wants. There we go. Alright, time to top deck some answers. I believe in me. Well, Doom Whisperer. That'll eventually get me to an answer. I don't really have the life to do it, though. So... 4... 8, 9... Okay. So... Yep. Let's draw something good.
Go ahead. An unfortunate.
Yeah, Fabled Passage. That's just what I needed. Well, I'll probably just lose. Pelucranos good. I think I'm going to throw out my own Doom Whisperer and do some risky surveilling. He doesn't have trample. Yeah, now I can just eat my whole board though. I think that actually probably just kills me. He can fight twice. Okay, that's only 2 fight. He can kill all of my important things. So assuming I only have 2 blockers, he can get 3, 6, 8 damage in. Yeah, I think I'm dead. Well, maybe not, because I got Murderous Rider. I'm doing very poorly. Unfortunately, I can't afford to surveil. Fortunately, his Pelucranos is bad now. Is he not going to go all in? Okay, he's just very slowly picking which characters to attack with. Alright, so we don't necessarily lose because of life gain.
Everyone is expecting.
Gain some life, draw cards. Don't have a good enchantment to kill. I can gain life, which could be relevant. So we're going to cast Murderous Rider. He is a good life blinky blocker. We'll play Mire Triton. More life gain. Unfortunately, he has enough cards to basically do whatever he wants. I've got 2 mana left over, so I can do one or the other. If he swings all out, he's got 1, 2, 3, 4. He just needs 1 green source, and I'll be looking pretty rough. I'll have 2 mana left over. I can sacrifice my food to gain health if he tries to kill me. It's perfect. No plan has been more foolproof. See if he swings. Oh, seems good. Jeez. Such a value-dense deck. And next turn he can get some more Pelucranos going on. This is pretty easy attack, you know what I'm saying? Can just click all. Tough choice on who I should block, though. So, I think that obviously goes there. I would like to kill him and that. So, yeah, we're gonna sack this food token for health. Oh, are we? Kind of. Oh, I can sack lands to Vraska if that's what we're doing. I kind of need to just kill permanents too. One more land and he can escape Lucanos and fight with at the same turn. Oh, why is it only 5 from his discard? Does he have creature spells cost 1 less to cast? Oh. So wish I could destroy this indestructible god. So Spawn's gonna kill me. Lucanos is gonna pop up and kill me. I can gain some life, which is not going to get me very far. Let's see if we can draw cards that will save my life. Murderous Rider is not quite going to get there. Oh. I'm going to go ahead and sack Treacherous Blessing. So, Pelucranos is still a big problem. Yeah, I don't think there's any way around that, so I need to kill his spawn and gain life, I'm pretty sure. So that his 5 attack doesn't kill me. Could fight one thing. No attacks. Not gonna pay life, of course. 'Tis rough. But if he doesn't kill Vraska with another Assassin's Trophy, maybe I'll have a path to victory. "17 cards left in my deck." And then it's just Murderous Riders every day, all day. Worst game plans. Do I have any in my discard yet? Yeah, there he goes. Seems good. He can fight one thing. I'm okay with that. It's about as lucky as I can get. Means I'm not dead this turn. Gives me another turn to draw And Elspeth Conquers Death. That's a good call, killing my Murderous Rider. He's deciding if he can kill Vraska right now. Yeah, I'll block. Get that food. Okay, so he can clear the way for Polukranos. Next turn. Which means I can't afford to ult, unfortunately. Because I need some blockers. Well, how many blockers can I make? He's got 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So he can do it 3 times. If I make 4 blockers... Two, three, 4, 5, 6. Oh, I got a Polukranos. That's nice. Ugh. Now I have choices. I mean, he can. Maybe he just draws a kill spell. Whatever. Let's go for the big plays. We may pull this one out, guys. Emblem. Now everyone's lethal. We're not going to attack. That would throw the game. Perfect. That's exactly what I wanted to see. We're about to have some Polukranos eating action. Yep. I am quite happy for him to burn these abilities now, because I need to know what he's fighting, so that I can kill his remaining guys. Alright, we're good. That's the game. I guess with all of his mana he could have drawn something from his deck. I don't know what would have been good. Underrealm, which would have been valuable. Alright. Alright, we did it. Polukranos, quite the value engine. Alright, well, let's look at the deck, talk about some options for it. There's plenty of mid-range options to consider. There's a lot of value in green, black, and white at the 4-drops and 5-drops. Like I said, Elspeth Conquers Death probably should be Shatter the Sky, but getting rid of stuff like Polukranos is also really good. Permanent Exile is nice, and it gives you some boost at the end. We didn't run into any Dream Trawlers, so we didn't see games where Shatter the Sky would have been better. But also, Elspeth Conquers Death is not nearly as good as Shatter the Sky in the red matchup, where you can just clear out their whole board. Would be a preference, so I think that's probably the right call to make, but I like the card, so I'm running it. You can run, and this is probably a good idea for those aggressive red decks, Kurunos, Hound of Athreos. I don't have him. That can't be right. I've played him a million times. I'm spelling it wrong. Yeah. Kunoros. Sorry. 3-drop with lifelink. Also has the ability that creatures can't enter the graveyards from battlefield. Sometimes useful. Sometimes it hurts us because we're trying to play out Polukranos from the graveyard, but not a lot. Usually we're pulling stuff back to our hand first. But yeah, just a 3/3 lifelink for 3 is going to go pretty far if he doesn't get immediately killed. And creatures that have to immediately die are pretty good, in my opinion. He's going to do a lot for stabilizing and gaining some health. So I think it's a fair option, especially if you're running into a lot of like Cat Oven decks. He'll shut that down until they remove it. Just solid mid-range body. I don't know what I would take out though. Savvy Hunter's pretty indispensable to the deck, I think. Can't really lose Murderous Rider. It might be a replacement for Mire Triton, but Mire Triton's also really solid. I guess you'd side it in for Treacherous Blessing in decks where you want to gain life rather than lose life. That's probably a good call. Shadow Spear is going to work wonders for you. Trample and Lifelink and +1/+1. You get it for your creatures all the time. Just put it on whatever you want to attack with. It's going to gain you some life, which is nice to pay off for the Murderous Riders. And most of our creatures have, at least like a decent sized body. Like a Mire Triton with it's pretty scary. Death Touch and Trample. You're going to gain more life off of it before he trades off. But even an Acolyte of Infliction's a 3/4 lifelink trample. That's pretty solid. But the real purpose is obviously pay 1 permanent your opponent's control, lose hexproof and indestructible. That's how you kill Dreamtrawler. They can discard cards, but you just keep paying 1 for it. So Shadow Spear is a good answer to get rid of Dreamtrawlers, assuming you have a kill spell in your hand as well. I don't know what I would take out for it. This is more of an aggressive option. Arasta, you don't really need the blockers if you're on the warpath. Yeah, that's probably what I would look at. I would take Doom Whisper out. He's a big body. You don't need him though. I didn't really want to cast him in a game. I'd rather be doing what the deck synergizes with. Agonizing Remorse. It's just a good card. 2 mana to get rid of a problem from their hand. This deck doesn't mind trading 1 card for 1 card because it's going to get a lot more card value later. And if you can take out whatever's going to keep you from getting to the end game, then you'll do yourself a big favor. Also kills Dreamtrawler. It's just a good thing, if you're trying to fight through counter spells, they'll either counter it or lose their spell either way. It's a good card. I don't think I would mind running it in this deck. It's not a permanent, so you can't get it back with Acolyte or Elspeth's Conqueror's Death, but, it's solid. Probably take it out over Treacherous Blessing, or put it in over Treacherous Blessing. They kind of serve the same function. Kinda. Actually, there's an argument to be made for taking it over Mire Triton. Mire Triton's early game stabilization, Remorse is early game. 1 gains you health and blocks for you though, so I'd be hesitant to take out Mire Triton. See, you can also run just kind of strong value creatures, Shifting Ceratops. If you are shifting away from mono white, I would definitely put in sorry, not Shifting Ceratops. Thinking of a different card. But yeah, Shifting Ceratops quite good. Anti-blue. If the meta or whatever you're running into on Arena is giving you a lot of trouble with blue cards, can't be countered prop blue. They're going to have to spend a lot of resources to deal with this card, and then those are resources they can't use to fight the rest of your deck. Replace, I would say, Doom Whisper, probably Acolyte. I don't think I would want to run Acolyte against a blue deck, so yeah. Just gives you a lot of power right at the 4-drop. Punches real good. I think protection from blue on this is unnecessary. It's just a bit rude. But this deck can also shift from Abzan into Sultai. You can drop the white entirely and run blue cards. Lets you shift more to planeswalkers with Ashiok. Ashiok's just a really, really strong 5-drop. You're just going to get value from it, and the rest of your deck's going to support that if you can get to that end game. You would lose Night of Autumn, and I would recommend replacing it with Thrashing Brontodon. It kind of serves the same function, but it doesn't stick around afterwards. It's a bigger body in just green. You can sack it to destroy target artifact or enchantment. So you can play it early and then use the artifact or enchantment destruction later, rather than having to hold on to it in your hand until they play something you want to destroy. So it's a little easier to play with, but it goes away once you use the naturalize effect, which I'm not a big fan of. With Vraska, I'd rather just run Knight of Autumn. But if you're losing the white, this is a good replacement that I definitely would run. With Acolyte of Affliction, you're going to be able to get it back if you need it again, and it's a really big body if you don't. So, but running blue lets you run a bunch of other good value cards. You can try Frilled Mystic. That's going to get you counterspell capability as well as creatures, and you can get it back with Acolyte of Affliction, so you can recur your counterspells, which is also rude. It lets you run stuff like Hydroid Krasis. For the value, you spend all the mana you're accumulating with gaining life and drawing cards, and it's a creature. If you want, you can run Kiora, Best of the Sea God. This is Kiora, best. Oh, it's not blue. Stupid filter. This is one of the best finishers in the game. It's pretty hard to come back from, especially if you have any board presence already. You get an 8/8 hexproof creature, and then you just tap them down and take their stuff until they're dead. This is a big finisher. You can probably run this in place of Polukranos if you want. Definitely take out Doom Whisperer for it. If this is the sort of deck you want to play, is Sultai. This is a good control finisher for a creature-focused deck. You can also run stuff like Lockmere Serpent. Also a very strong finisher, but I don't think as strong as Kiora, Best the Sea God. But giant, flashy creature. You can gain life draw cards, guarantee attacks and damage. And it's recurable. You can just exile it like it's escape once your opponent's gone through cards. It's quite good. Now, if you shift to this, I think your problem with all these great 5 to 7 drops is staying alive early game. So you're going to have to find something to stabilize with. We don't lose a lot from our early curve. It's really just the Knight of Autumn. So, like, our Mighty Triton, Paradise Druid, still really solid. Murderous Rider, Savvy Hunter. You got a lot going on early game. I would probably just recommend throwing in Thief of Sanity as an early drop. It doesn't defend you, but it gives them something they have to worry about, because Thief of Sanity will kind of close the game up by himself if they don't answer it. So it is a 3-drop that they have to spend mana on to kill, rather than killing you. Thief of Sanity is just a 3-drop flyer, and when he hits the opponent, you can basically take their best card from their top 3, meaning they're not going to... Yeah, it's just good value. You're going to get their best cards, have more things to play. Yeah, it's very good. So yeah, I would consider him as an early threat. You probably don't need something like Treacherous Blessing if you're running that many late drops. Ashiok, Kiora, Best of the Sea God, Lockmere. Any one of those will probably do you enough, so you don't need the Treacherous Blessing to get there. So yeah, that moves a lot more away from the Vraska focused, like, things to sack outlet, but Vraska plus Ashiok is going to be a pretty good engine for you. So those are some fun options if Sultai is something you're more interested in than Abzan. But I'm a big Abzan fan. I like how this deck plays. It's pretty fun getting all of the sacks and the opportunities to trigger Vraska's ultimate. It's got a lot of tools and flexibility. The land base works. I was pretty happy with how it performed today. It was pretty sketchy before I put in the other non-basics, the Temple of Plenty, and Goblet Shrines. But yeah, this is something like what I would go with. I like the Evolving Wilds and Fabled Passage. They can shuffle back Murderous Riders. If you use them back to the middle of your deck, you can keep recurring them with Acolyte of Affliction, and they thin your deck out so that you're always hitting more things of value. So I was pretty happy with how the land worked for this. And the deck performed pretty well. We didn't have too many losses. Very close final game, though. That was a good match to close on. Don't know what I'm building for next week. I still got the Izzet deck I'm tinkering with, but it's not really it's not really what I wanted. So we'll see. Working on some Planeswalker control forms as well. But we'll definitely be back next week, so I hope you'll join us then. If I made any misplays, you're welcome to leave some comments in the comment section. Let me know how it could be better. I'm always playing things wrong, so feedback's welcome. Alright, thanks for watching, guys. I'll be back next week.